Okay, so suppose I had to have you guys graph me a line, and that line was y equals 2x plus 4. Hopefully by now we know all the ins and outs that there is to know about graphing a line that's already in slope-intercept form. We go ahead and we plot the y-intercept right there at 4, and then we move according to the slope, going up 2 and to the right 1. Or we can reverse that pattern to create our line. So really what's going on here is that we have a line that has a steepness of 2, right? So we know what happens when the line has a steepness of 2. Well, what if we change the line to have a steepness of negative 2? Well, instead of the line going up and to the right, up 2 and to the right 1, now it's going to go down 2 and to the right 1. Let's mess with this a little bit more. So here I have the graph set up here, where all I have to do is over here, if we have y equals mx plus 4, notice I've locked in the y-intercept being 4, m is going to vary based on this slider I have right here. So notice as I increase that value, look at that red line there, notice it's starting to increase there a little bit. Let's see if I can make this a little bit darker here. Projector mode, how about that? There we go. So it got steeper. Notice we can make it go lower, and now we have the negative value right there. Look what happens if I decide to make m 0. What we have there is a horizontal line because the slope is 0. In other words, the rise is 0 and the run is whatever number that you'd like to pick. So notice that when we have m is 0, all that's left here in this equation is we're saying 0 times x, which that's just going to make 0. So we're just left with y being equal to 4. So when you're given the task of graphing the line y equals 4, understand that it's going to be a horizontal line. Another way of thinking about this is imagine that somebody wanted you to graph a set of points, a whole bunch of points, and you had one rule, and that one rule was that every y-coordinate that you picked had to have a every point that you picked, the y-coordinate would have to be 4. So if you were to stick to those rules, we could put in a couple points where the y-coordinate was 4. For example, the y-intercept of that line would have to be 4. We could pick this point here. That would have a y-intercept of y-coordinate 4. Or maybe a point here, or here, or here, or here. Doesn't even have to be on these grid lines here. How about right there, halfway there? So notice as we keep on making more and more points, the more all these points working together just creates that line of y equals 4. So to sum this thing up here, looking back at this, suppose if I were to eliminate a couple of these things here and just say, well, what if it was any number? Say we call it b, and we'll add a slider for b. Notice now whatever that value is, it's just creating a horizontal line, no matter where we want to put it. So notice as I change b, change that value, as long as it says y equals and nothing else, I'm just creating a horizontal line right there. Okay, so if it says y equals a number, you're always going to have a horizontal line. Now if we reverse it, right back to the center here, and now all of a sudden I want to say, I don't know, x equals b. Now notice what kind of a line I get. It's a vertical line. Why? The same argument that we just did with the horizontal line, right? It's kind of saying, craft me a line where every x coordinate was 2. Well, here every x coordinate on this line would be 2. So that's how we get that vertical line looking the way it does. So I summarized this for you guys here on your note sheet. And so notice here that when you have x equals a value right here, you're always going to get a vertical line there. Over here, if we have y equals a value, then we're going to have a horizontal line. So looking at this example down here in the bottom right of that note sheet, if I had to graph the line y equals -5, that means I need a horizontal line, which would give me where I want all the y coordinates to be -5. I probably could have done a better job with that line there, right? Let's move this up a little bit. That's better. Okay. So now, for the other line, let's graph us a line where every x coordinate is going to be 7. So if every x coordinate needs to be 7, that's going to give us a vertical line right about there, right? Beautiful. Okay, so this video is going to come to a close. So if once this video ends, take about 5 minutes and take care of the first couple problems that are on your assignment sheet right there. Notice they're asking you two things. State whether it's vertical or horizontal. I notice some students just prefer just to circle one of the two words. That's fine. And then go ahead and graph it. So I'd like you to put the vertical or the horizontal line where it needs to be right there. Okay, so about 5 minutes, work on that, and then at the end of the 5 minutes, if we would please get the second video going.